What's going on, everyone? It's Mason, and welcome to the channel. First time putting something on this channel. This channel is solely going to be based off of country music and country music reviews. The music today, probably dig into some stuff from the 90s, but nonetheless, this is the first one I'm doing on this channel, and I felt it was compelled, and I felt it was the best project to go after is the new Maren Morris album, Dreamsicle. Now, clearly the biggest hit she's had was The Bones. I mean, you can hear it on all the radio stations. You saw Taylor Swift, which obviously started country and then kind of switched over, if you want to consider it pop, and kind of had different elements. And I think there was a lot of, inside the country world, and probably a lot of, question among fans, what angle is she going to go? And I think you kind of saw it. I think you saw it early on with the album Hero, and then I think it was something that kind of took shape with the project Girl, and then it went into Humble Quest, which for me personally, up until this album, that was my favorite project. Bones is my favorite track. Humble Quest was an absolutely incredible album, and I was thinking in my head, is it possible for Maren to supersede that? Can she one up that? And then it was posted that Dreamsicle was going to be coming out, and it did. I listened to it probably 3, 4, 5 times in a row, and by far this is my favorite project from Maren. I absolutely love this album. There's very few tracks that I did not like. I just thought this was a great album. From beginning to end. Obviously, you could argue that it's listed on the pop. I put it under country. There are some elements of both in here, and I think obviously there's a shift, and you're seeing a lot of different artists to do that. And like I said, Taylor Swift was probably the first major one that did it. But honestly, I think Maren is a better musician than Taylor. I enjoy Maren's music more than Taylor's. No disrespect to Taylor, but I've been a fan since the Hero project from Maren. And even in that project, I knew that there was the potential not only to be a huge star, but I felt on that record she was already exploring into various categories outside of country. I think the elements were there, and you primarily heard it in the track Rich, which I'm not saying it's a hip-hop track, but it carries that kind of swagger. So to me, the elements have always been there. It's just, when is she going to completely come out of them? Based on this, they're having it listed as a pop record, and I understand that. I'm putting it in the country category. But like I said, I do feel the back half felt a little more country-ish than the project overall. But the bottom line, all I really give a shit about is she put out Dreamsicle, and it's an absolutely incredible album from beginning to end. There's like 1 or 2 tracks. I mean, for the most part, I liked every track. There's a few that I didn't mention, or I won't mention as I like them, but there's really only 1 or 2 tracks that I didn't really care for, but it wasn't to the point where I'd skip them. And that's the reason why I think this album has a chance of getting a high rating. So, nonetheless, let me just get right into it. So the track features Lemonade. Absolutely love that fucking track. Great track, great opening track. Just a well put together track. Just fucking enjoyed every element of that. People Show Up, Cry in the Car, and then I really enjoyed track 4, which is Cut, featuring Julia Michaels. Bed No Breakfast, which I believe is one of the lead singles. Fucking love that song. Dreamsicle, I Hope I Never Fall in Love is track 7. Enjoyed it. I enjoyed track 8, Too Good. Really enjoyed track 9, Push Me Over. Because of Course, Grand Bouquet. This Is How a Woman Leaves. Carry Me Through. All just solid tracks. The ones I'm mentioning more are just kind of like a step above that solidness, and just really to me just enjoyable. Track 13, Carry Me Through. Loved it. And then, of course, I think it finished with an absolutely phenomenal track. Enjoyed every minute of it, and that's Holy Smoke. Just a great album, man. And what's interesting is I tend to kind of stay away from other reviews, and I'd be curious to see what other folks are saying about this record. But for me personally, as a fan of country music, I was already built up the understanding that she's probably going to kind of stray away, and I think obviously there's elements, but I think the elements have always been there. So to say that she completely left them, I just think is not true. I think you saw the elements on Hero, you saw it with Girl, and you saw it with Humble Quest. The elements have always been there. And when you're just a solid musician, she's kind of, I would almost consider her like the female version of Jelly Roll. I don't think there's any music she couldn't tap into and be successful. I think she could probably make a rock record and be successful. I think you could put her vocals with some metal production and she would sound incredible. She's just an incredible, talented artist. I don't think there's many of these artists that come. Again, I'm not quite the putter in the elements of like a Prince or Michael Jackson, but she's just a phenomenal, remarkable artist, and I think it's one of those that when she no longer puts out music, you're going to go, fuck, I'm missing something. You're missing music from Maren Morris. We need music from Maren Morris. That's how I feel. That's what she provides. There's a Maren Morris, I think, aesthetic that goes with it. It's pleasing, it's enjoyable, it's heartfelt, it's heartbreak. It's all mixed in, and it's just great music. And in the end, when you're a fan of music, that's what you just want to hear. You want to hear great music, and I get it with this project. I enjoy Dreamsicle. I'm sure there's going to be the haters out there that don't. That's generally why I don't give it a second look. This is just my opinion. I enjoy this record. It's my favorite record. Sure, there's tracks overall that I like more as a track as an individual, but as a collective, I thought these are just 14 really, really, really good songs, and I really, really enjoyed it. Not to mention, I thought the album cover was really dope as well. Yeah, this is just a solid album. And really, you could essentially say that I really just enjoyed 12 of the 14 tracks. I enjoyed some more than others, but because there was so many tracks that I found enjoyable, my overall rating for this, and I do these from a 0 to 5 rating. Really, you could say anything over a 3 is a good album, but my overall rating for this project is 4.8. It was an amazing project. I hope I can get the physical soon. Obviously, it was in iTunes, where Apple Music that I got it, but I definitely want to get a copy of the album and maybe the vinyl too. It's a great album, man. Dreamsicle. Great fucking album. I don't care what genre you want to put it in. I don't care what genre you put Maren Morris in, but she's one of those artists that you just need to put her in the category of an amazing artist. Just like the Jelly Roll, he's just an amazing artist. It doesn't matter where he taps into, and you're seeing it now with Post Malone. Speaking of which, if there hasn't been one, let's get that on the books. Let's get a Jelly Roll, a Post Malone, and Maren Morris collaboration track. How about that? Let's get that in effect. That's what music needs. That's what we need, right? So, nonetheless, Dreamsicle, Maren Morris, 4.8, great album. Let me know what you think. And stay tuned. I will continue to bring country reviews on this channel as I check them out. So, all right? Stay tuned, y'all.